Eventually, Puss does resurface, claiming to have been in Puerto Rico getting treatment for his bad back. While Tony is clearly a little skeptical about the details of the story, he's just happy to have his friend back, and somewhat reluctantly lets him back into the fold. But he does pass him over for a promotion, resulting in Furio, who is several years younger and also recently joined the crew, being his equal, if not superior in rank.
Puss, want to give us a minute? I'm in the middle of eating. I know. Do me a favor, will you, sweetie? Keep this warm. Thank you. It's like all these years were for nothing. What'd I tell you? You think Tony really gives a flying about you?
This causes him to change from a reluctant informant who just gave an occasional small, insignificant crime here and there to a full-on rat.
An airline ticket from the Scatino bus stop. Tony made the guy order blocks of these things through the sporting goods store.
I'll put it on file.
You could use it as probable cause for a warrant, couldn't you? Evidence of extortion, intent to defraud. Those are RICO predicates, right?
This engagement party for the sister? I'm gonna want to wire you up. I know you're sensitive.
That. What the is I, his errand boy?
The pressure caused by the conflicting loyalties leads to him mentally snapping.
1 minute he's talking about how much he loves Tony Soprano, and in the next breath, he's a junior G-man. He's talking about RICO predicates and probable cause. All of a sudden, we're the good guys. It's the worst case of Stockholm Syndrome I've seen since Patty Hearst. I'll tell you, though, I'm kind of worried about Sal with these fantasies of law enforcement.
Eventually, he starts to think he's Magnum PI.
5:16 a.m. Subjects departing Searchlight Diner.
Yet, despite his inner turmoil and wild fantasies, he does a pretty good job of concealing the fact that he's an informant from the crew. The only potential slip-up that I can find is when he goes into a bit too much detail when explaining the calling card scam to Furio.
Immigrants especially, no offense. They're always calling back home to whoever and it's expensive, right? You sell thousands of these cards to the greedy pricks, cards at a cut rate. But you bought the bulk time on credit, remember? The carrier gets stiffed. He cuts off the service to the card holders, but you already sold all your cards.
While that doesn't sound inherently suspicious, he just goes into a bit too much detail, and he's a bit too, thorough with it, almost like he's given a thorough explanation to someone else, the FBI perhaps. While it doesn't appear to have raised any red flags with anyone else on the table, I get the impression that, for Tony, it caused something to subconsciously click into place. And we see evidence of this during Tony's bad Indian/seafood-induced fever dreams.
You know I've been working with the government, right, Tom?
Don't say it.
Come on, Tom. Sooner or later, you gotta face facts.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, you're gonna hear it. Pass me over for promotion, Tom. You know.
While I'm not generally a big fan of the dream sequences, I found the foreshadowing, Puss sleeping with the fishes, interesting, even if it was about as subtle as a brick to the head.
These guys, on either side of me, they're asleep.
Don't say that.
When he's finally done purging his system, he decides to purge his crew of its traitor.
Tony.
Hey, Angie. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm on my poor ass.
He pops up at Puss's unannounced, claiming to need help picking out a boat. While there, he manages to find Puss's recording equipment, confirming his suspicions. I've always wondered whether Tony would have killed him even if he didn't find any evidence, as up until this point, Tony was simply working off of a hunch, so he must have planned to take him on the boat trip before knowing definitively whether or not he was a rat.